you're having a bad day, remember this. Life is like a wiener. Sometimes it gets hard for no reason, but it won't stay hard forever.
All right.
Best advice ever. Life is like a wiener. Life is like a wiener. Sometimes it gets hard, but it won't stay hard forever. That is some good advice. What's up, fellas?
Hey. Not much, man.
Word. I see my man Al Heroes in the building. My man Ty Cobb's in the building. DJ Royalties in the building. My man Matt J is doing some work, and he will not be in the building this evening. So I suspect he may pop in, he may not. But as far as I know, he's doing some work or doing some good stuff out in the great city of Houston, Texas. So he might not.
Houston Rodeo.
There we go. But we're here. You're here. So what's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Good. I'm doing good. I had a great week.
Okay.
Yeah, mine was okay. I do want to give a shout out. So Josh Morris is back in the building. He is just got back off deployment, so he is home with his family. You know, I was seeing his post. It brought back some memories, right? It was, pretty much like, and just like that, the world is good again type deal. And I remember going off deployments and, seeing your family for the first time in 9 months or whatever. So, yeah, welcome home, little brother. I'm glad you're back, bro.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, everybody? This is the Triple Threat Vet Podcast. You're live in effect. We're live right now. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, right? We're live on YouTube, right, Ty?
Yeah, Facebook, YouTube,
we're live everywhere,
Twitch,
man. It's Thursday night. It's 8 o'clock, man. We are live. Yeah! And you are in the building with us. For everybody who's in the building with us on time, you know what? You mustered. You're on time. I appreciate you. I'm trying to see. My vision isn't. I got my glasses today, but my vision isn't so great to see who you are. I think I see Joshua on here. I see a couple of people in here.
Vinny with the Vinny. Got Josh.
Yeah, Vinny's in the building. If you're in the building and you're here live, I appreciate you. Thank you for tapping in. We love you guys. This is why we're here.
Got the Willis crew and
the Willis family's in the place. Julie.
Kevin,
yeah,
Julie and my boy. And her, not the better half. She's the better half. We'll give him shout outs too. You know what I'm saying?
Dang. We in here. So
we'll give Davey some love.
Well, I thought about this week, man. Well, before I even go there, Ty, I see that you wanted to be a Navy sailor this week, man. How was your life on the ship? Tell me about your Smokey Robinson cruising.
And them sea legs.
Man, we did a Disney cruise, first cruise ever, but it was a Disney cruise. Me, my wife, and my little 11-year-old Tatum went. So it was we went to Progreso, Mexico, got to see some Mayan pyramids, got to swim in some cenotes and get that good limestone water all over you, make you feel real good, eat some wonderful food. And then be on a boat for a couple of days. It was great. Like
the food is great on the cruise, man. I love that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part, man. You don't have to worry about it. You can go to one aft end of the ship, forward end of the ship, find you something to eat. You know what I mean? Everybody gets to get their bellies full. You don't have to worry about all the other nonsense.
Yeah, this
ice cream. You got great scenery.
Yeah.
Man, that's
I've never been on one. I've never been on a cruise, but I mean, I did have some good food this weekend. I had some Vienna sausage and saltine crackers, hot sauce, bro. I was doing big things, hanging out with the fam. So,
yeah. My man Josh Vincent's in the building. I'm just trying to catch up. If y'all see me looking down, I'm looking at y'all. That's what it is. So my man Ty got to go cruise and he got to feel like a sailor for a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm glad that you made it back. You got to see what it's like to go ashore and come back and dock in and dock out, and you had to do your safety briefs and all that kind of stuff like that. Nobody ended up in the water. You realize that big old ship is not going to sink, and it was a great experience. I'm glad you got to feel what I felt.
I was expecting some, maybe some, rocking back and forth.
Right.
But I was on the Disney Magic. It's a 26-year-old ship, but it's there wasn't much rock to it at all. I mean, it was
right. You got some good sleep on there, huh?
Heck yeah.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's nothing like when old Mother Nature.
You got way more sea time than me, though.
I was gonna make fun of Matt. I got even more sea time than you.
Yeah, there you go. You spent some days. How did my man like it? How did Tatum like it?
Oh, he loved it. I think he loved the autonomy and being able to go off on his own,
Yeah.
go to the edge, play video games, play with his friends, do
Yeah.
all that stuff. He even ate lunch by himself a couple days, just got fast food along the way with his buddies. And, Sarah and I'd be walking around at the spa or something, and here he'd come. They'd be playing tag and scavenger hunts on the boat. It was a great experience. I highly recommend it. Shout out to my boy, Raul Mendez.
What's up, Raul?
For suggesting that. I mean, I guess he sells all the time, but yeah. It was definitely worth it.
Okay.
He's one of you Navy boys like you guys.
Yeah. Shout out to my man Tatum, man. That's nephew. Tatum gives the best hugs, man. Like out of all the little kids that give me hugs.
Man, he gave one of the hosts a hug. Man, that lady melted in his arms.
Yeah, man.
She was like, they were hugging us.
Yeah.
She went in for the hug a little bit, and he attacked the hug. And she's like, oh my God, I love this little dude. Yeah. He gives good hugs.
Tatum's a special kid, man. He's not afraid of hard work. He helps out in the neighborhood. He does stuff around the neighborhood. I know the neighbors know him and love him, and that's what it's supposed to be. If you're a young kid growing up in the neighborhood, you need to know who your neighbor is, know the person next to you, around you, and let them know that you're just a kid trying to grow up in the community and do the best you can, earn a little money, that's what it's supposed to be about. But these kids these days, growing up, the majority don't have that.
What you mean, these kids these days?
So I'm gonna tell you this.
Spit it.
Yeah, I'm gonna spit. I'm gonna wax poetic one time for you, Ty. I haven't since we early in the session, right? Let me take a deep breath. Houston, we have a problem, and I will say this: we have a problem for a series of reasons, and I've been watching this over some years, right? And I'm a little bit weary of the direction of our youth, and I will say that for any parents who are raising kids, you young kids, I know you young kids probably aren't going to listen to this podcast because you guys don't do those kind of things to get educated. You're doing the wrong things. So I will say this. I decided I was going to do something nice for the wifey. So I took her to the Galleria Mall, do a little bit of shopping and get her a couple of things because I don't get a chance to do that often. And it was spring break. She had some time off. We had some time to spend together. So I like, you know what? Let's do something nice. So long story short, I took my wife to the mall. We got a couple of items, and then we decided that we were going to go out to dinner, right? Spend some quality time with each other. Don't get to do it that often. So we go shopping, grab a few items. Traffic was heavy. So I said, you know what? Let's put the stuff in the truck, go across the street, grab something to eat. And by the time we eat and come back, traffic will be down and we'll head on home. Sound like a great idea, right? Wrong. Yeah. Why is it that when I went in to go get something to eat, somebody inside the parking garage thought it was a good idea to break into my truck and steal all of the items that I purchased for my wife and run off and just leave me like that? So obviously they watch me either, walk to my truck and put the stuff in the truck or however it goes. But for whatever reason, they decided to do that. And I'm a person who tries to live right and do things the right way. But it's sometimes, man, you get a little frustrated because your own people, and when I say that, I'm majorly speaking to my black people, it's be your own people that do you the wrong way, right? And I'm sure it happens in the white community, in the Hispanic community, and every other community. But at some point, man, we got to stop doing each other this way, right? It's dangerous and it's wrong. But people don't want to work for their own stuff. They want to do stuff the hard way, or not the hard way. They want to do stuff the easy way, no matter how they got to do it, no matter what the risk is, right? But that's where we are. So T.Y., I don't know if you got the picture I sent you. Yeah, man. So I come back to my truck. This is what my truck looks like. The Houston thing, my cowboy hat was left on my seat, my bag, but they decided they bust out my back window and just steal all my stuff and run off. So, I don't wish anything bad on anybody, but whoever stole the purses and bags and shoes and whatever, I hope your foot falls off. I hope that you lose both of your arms so that you can never steal again. And you know what? Hey, if you get ran over by a train, I'm like, ouch, that's messed up. But I probably not cry about it. You know what I'm saying? But I do take that back because I don't. I just wish that people would use your mind, man. Get your own stuff, man. The one thing I hate in the world worse than a liar is a thief, bro. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. So that's my thing. I know I kind of went long-winded, but I just wanted to put that out there. Public service announcement. If you're shopping in Houston and you're at the mall, Christmas time, just your own time. Be mindful of the people around you. Do not put your stuff in your vehicle and go somewhere else. Make sure that if you have nice things, that you secure those things and secure your livelihood, because people are robbing each other, like literally gunpoint robbing you to take your stuff because they don't want to earn a living or earn enough money to get their own. So they want to do it the easy way. So be safe out there. If you're out there, be safe. Keep your head on the swivel. Watch your surroundings. And if it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Don't do it. So from now on, online shopping for me. You won't see me in the mall. I'm not going to be out in the community doing that kind of stuff because people out here are raggedy.
Hey, I will tell you this. So you're a good person, Scott, and you don't wish bad on anybody. Well, I'm not that guy. Like, I love violence, and I do. I hope them motherfuckers get tank cancer and eyeball cancer all at the same time. I hope they
Yeah.
they ass in between their balls and their ass hurts for the rest of their life. Just tumors all up in that area.
Yeah. For me,
Morgan says she hopes they stub their toes every morning and have heartburn every night and have diarrhea in public.
I'm with you, Morgan.
Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you, Morgan.
Diarrhea in public, that's terrible.
If you get it from me, that's fine, man. But it's like, saying when you stole away, it's like you did something. I'm very protective about the people I love, man. You know what I mean? And it's like you didn't take from me, man. You took from my wife. You took from my family. So I take that a little bit different. So if I see you with those shoes on or with that purse, because it has my wife's initials on it, and if I see you with it, just know that you will not be leaving with it. That's just my public service announcement to you. And so wherever you are,
hey, it's hard. It's very hard in life, Scott. And I've learned this the hard way, to pick up broken teeth with broken fucking fingers. So I just want to throw that out there. It's going to be real difficult to pick up them teeth with them broken fingers. Just want to throw that out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But we at the Triple Threat Vet Podcast, we don't promote violence until we have to promote violence, and this was a reason why we had to. But it's all good.
Worth them doing it.
You know what? I'm bigger in the situation. Like you say,
we're gonna hire Kevin Cash to just lay there when you go to the mall. Bring him with you. Let him lay in your backseat, butt naked, and like when they come to the window and they break it, there he is in all his glory. They ain't taking shit.
And I thought about it. I said, you know what? This is the reason why you wake up with anger and hatred in your heart. But I'm not going to allow that to be the case, man. I'm still going to smile through all this bullshit. I'm going to wake up. It's another day. It's a material thing. I can't take it with me when I die. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed in my life to where that won't be the last time I'm able to do something nice for my wife, but I will be a little bit more cautious. So my message to you guys is be cautious because it can happen to you. And it's just one of those things where now it's a teaching moment, right? It just kept me, you think that everything is cool and you're able to move about like a normal person, but you can't because this world is not normal. There's a lot of stuff going on out here that make you question your good heart. But I'm going to stay good at heart, man. God has blessed me. He's covered me. He's watched me this long. I know he didn't bring me this far just to leave me. So I'm okay. Man. And now that I talked about it with you guys and my podcast family, I feel better, man. So thank you for you guys' support, your kind, evil words. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because you feel my pain. And that's it. So now I put it out there and I'm good. We can move on about our day, fellas.
Let's do it. This is completely strange because as most people know, we don't really rehearse this show. We kind of talk about some things in a group text throughout the week, but I was gone, everybody's doing their own thing throughout the week because we don't live together. We all got our own families, our own jobs. But the thing I wanted to talk about tonight was public triggers. How you react to them. Best practices in mitigating public outbursts. I swear to God, before I even got on here, this is what I'm writing down because, I'm kind of having reflections over the when I'm on this boat, so I'm thinking about things. I'm like, man, I don't like the fact that on day one and today, this morning, I just got off the cruise this morning. These people are so inconsiderate. And I feel like I'm a big guy, so I feel like I need to get out of people's way so they don't feel intimidated or whatever. So, in a big group of people were just bumping into me. And this is a Disney cruise, so I literally had to lean over to the side and let people go because, I would be the bad guy because I'm the angry veteran. And I don't want to be that. I want to be the guy that doesn't get triggered. But I still get mad about those things, and there's no way we can stop that. So Scott, we all have public triggers, but what are some of your public triggers that go on that maybe mess with your PTS? Not just, not just someone stealing from you, because that's
Yeah.
terrible. But
Yeah. I'm a big person. I'm a big one on the bumping too. You know, if you it's how you bump somebody. If you bump somebody and it was an accident, it's okay. But when you bump me and look at me like, what are you gonna do about it? That is an instant trigger for me to where I'm gonna go all the way north, right? My temperature goes up, my heart rate goes up, and my hands automatically go into this position, and I'm ready to like come underneath your chin. That's a trigger for me. The other thing is if I'm walking with my wife or I'm doing something with my wife, it's okay to look and you know what I mean. But when you're just disrespectful and you say stuff and you know what I mean, those things are triggers for me as well, right? Because it's okay to, you know, if you're gonna say something, hey, she's beautiful or whatever, I got it. But sometimes people just take things a little bit too far, which is another trigger
right.
for me. But majority of it is I'm okay with all that. I'm even okay with that more so than if you in my space and you happen to bump me. It's a different way that you do it. If you bump me, I'm like, hey, my fault, bro. Or sorry about that. Excuse me. I'm cool. But if you bump me and then you look at me like, yeah, I bumped you. What you gonna do about it? I don't know what's gonna happen after that. Because if I bump you, then I'm automatically, hey, my fault, brother. I'm sorry. You know, excuse me. Didn't mean to bump you. You know, that's fine. Common courtesy. But when you bump somebody and look at them like, yeah, what you want? Yeah, I bumped you. What you gonna do? Automatic up.
Yeah, so I got bumping into and gawking at wife. So Al, what are some of your triggers that you know that you're going to have to prepare for if you're going out in public?
So it's those two, period, right? I mean, you know, and I've been with my wife in public, and it's funny because DJ was talking about it. It's always a young group. We were walking into Barnes and Noble a while back, and a group of they were walking ahead of me with my daughter. Like she's got my daughter. They're walking into Barnes and Noble, and there's a table full of young men who start making like just rude comments, right? So the first thing I'm like, Scott, the first thing I say is, excuse me. And they're like, what? I was like, that's my fucking wife. And then they get to going. I'm like, well, we can fucking shut this whole block down. I'll ruin everybody's afternoon because I'm not finna fight all 5 of you, but I know I got a 10-round magazine and one on the back.
Yeah.
So I got 20 rounds. I'm gonna hit somebody's ass up real quick. But so the bumping and disrespecting the family, and it's gonna sound crazy coming from me, but because I don't do it, right? I'm very aware of other people's kids and families. So when I'm in public, right, at a restaurant or anywhere, people who are like, you see these kids here and you're disrespectful as far as your language that you're choosing to use or the conversation that you're having, right? You're talking about, my brother said it. My brother already knows, like his hand, like it would be a wrap. Like, and I don't even know if, and I know he's been my brother my whole life, but with him, he's the same way. I don't know if you'd even be able to stop him. Like, I don't know if there would be a message in his brain that said, don't do it. It would be more of like, oh shit, grab Mike. Like this shit's, and I don't even know if you could stop it. But the language that people use around other people's children, because I do cuss and I talk crazy, right? And I may cuss in front of my own kids. But if I'm in public and I'm around, like when I was at Ty's house, I was very cognizant about what I say. Because if he don't talk around his kids like that, I'm not going to, right?
Right.
No, I'm just,
you got to be aware of your surroundings.
So that bothered me because I would have no problem saying, hey, there's kids here. Could you please watch your mouth? And the problem with people, like Scott said, is most people can't be adults and be mature and have a conversation and say, no, you're right. My apologies. They immediately want to go to, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
And
that's what they think that they want to do.
Please don't threaten me and assume that because I'm with my family that I won't, like, we'll start a new podcast up in the prison. We'll have a prison podcast for all I care. But those things do bother me, right? Like, my brother said it too. Like, there's some things with my brother you just don't play with, right? Yeah. I've heard my brother get his kids behind tightly. Like if you don't, but let somebody cross him or his family, right? And unfortunately, he's like you, Scott. With some people, like my brother's one of them, right? I know a lot of people like that they don't have a trigger that says, don't do it, just let it go. There's some people you better be careful because you don't know who you're dealing with, who you're bumping into, who you're talking shit to. Because some people might just let it go and be like, well, I'm throwing caution to the wind. So I'm very cognizant of my surroundings too, right? Who's around me? If even me. Yep. There you go. I'm like that too. I know for a fact that I can't beat everybody in the world and I can't shoot everybody in the world. However, I am aware of what's going on around me. So if it's a bad situation or I feel like it's going to escalate, I got no problem saying, you know what, let's leave before my wife will know, like, let's just go. We can get a beer. So you can get a beer somewhere else. So we can get a steak somewhere else. Like, it's just not worth being there. In fact, I'll give a quick story. It was funny. Me and my brother and my wife, I don't know if our kids were there or not, but we were in a Mexican restaurant in Georgia having a good time. And somebody behind us was talking just out of turn, just being loud, having a good time. And like, I just turned around and said, hey, we got, there's kids in the restaurant. Could you guys, can you please keep it down? And they popped off. And it took my brother, I don't know, 2-3 seconds to be up over the booth, like in their laps, like it's going down tonight. Like, it's just being respectful, right? And respecting people's space, respecting people's thought processes, and I don't think like you should. I don't worry about being offensive to people, but I do to a degree, right? I want to be understanding that you raise your kids a certain way and you have certain rules and standards. And when I'm in your presence, or I'm with you, or I'm in your home, or I'm around you, then I respect those boundaries, right? But people just don't, bro. People don't understand what boundaries are anymore. They just don't, and especially the young generation. Right. They think they're bulletproof. They think they're invincible, and they don't understand what boundary is.
Hold on. So I should have mediated this a little bit better. So I wanted to talk about some of the triggers, but then I was listening to your story and reading comments. So we're going to talk about some of the triggers and then how we react to them. That's kind of where we gotten so far. But then what I also want to talk about, like, how can we stop White Mike from jumping over that damn table? How can we stop you from wanting to chop up the block? And here's how I see our podcast. I see a lot of people saying how real we are, and like, this is what leadership looks like. Like, you read about a lot of veterans that leadership in the military. I'm sorry. This is what we do. We talk amongst ourselves. So our heroes in the military were those SF guys. We're those, David Goggins that makes all the cool videos and that stuff. That's the guys that were our heroes. But we have deployed a lot. We have been in global operations. So the things that we've learned, man, I feel like we give a really good perspective on this. But I love what Scott said. We are not therapists. We are not licensed.
Right.
We get trained by a guy, Berto Fight, that he's a licensed clinical social worker. And he's been telling us how to, kind of fix this side of the podcast. But I really want to dive into this good because it's crazy. We did not plan this. And then your car gets busted into.
Yeah.
I'm pissed off as hell because my trigger today was I don't like being challenged. Yeah. And especially like if I'm in my house, I don't like being challenged in my house, on my block. If I know the way something's going to be and somebody's acting out of line at my CVS or my HEB, I take umbrage to that. Like, that's the Kentucky country, Texas, and a lot of that 904 Jacksonville. Growing up in Jacksonville, you had to know how to handle yourself. So I know that my trigger is bravado and anger. Like, I overcome conflict with overwhelming anger sometimes.
Gotcha.
So that's mine. So respecting and get challenging. So we've kind of talked, all of us, like what we did, like what I had to do to myself to not get mad on a Disney cruise this morning.
Yeah.
And we've talked what you had to do to mitigate not having to kill somebody for busting a window out. And then, White Mike has a very good one, because I'm like that too. If someone disrespects my family, I'll run over a table. So what are some of the things that you, Scott, have done to mitigate any of those public outbursts that could turn into something terrible?
So that's funny you ask that question, because I say it in my mind all the time. The great comedian Jamie Foxx said it best. He said, you got to blow that shit out. So what I do, the other day I went to the rodeo. We were walking, and there's a lot of people. So it's very tight quarters. So I got bumped by somebody that kind of gave me that look. But what I did was took a deep breath. When I blew that shit out, I just blew it out and I just kept walking. I didn't turn to, engage in it anymore. I just took a breath up. I realized what happened and I blew it out and I just kept walking straight. And my wife asked me, she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." You know what I mean? I'm fine, because my best action was not a reaction. And for so long, I always reacted. Now it's a matter of not reacting. So when my car got broken into, the first thing was anger, But I took a deep breath and I Jamie Foxx and I blew that shit out. I said, you know what? It's going to be okay. It's just things. It could have been worse. So I looked at the bigger picture. It could have been worse. And then I'm dealing with how to move forward with it. But talking about it and putting it out to my family and here and you guys, you know, just the fact that somebody can understand my anger, right, made it enough for me. I really don't wish anything bad on them. I just wish that I would have been better prepared in my thought process so it didn't happen. But I blew it out and I'm okay. So that's what I've done.
Al, what have you done that you know, like on a trigger,
so
you
for
always
me-
carry, so you have to be extra vigilant.
Right. So, you know, I've always got a pistol on me. That's just how I do. Everywhere I go, it doesn't matter if, you know, it's on me 24 hours a day pretty much, or it's on a nightstand, or it's on the table next to where we're sitting, because I don't trust anybody either. But I think for me, Ty, it really would boil down to, and I think it maybe comes with age and comes with working on different things. But for me, I would say I've and I'm not good at it all the time. I still have stupid moments where I say the wrong thing, or I have an outburst and I say things I don't mean, and you know, you can't take them back sometimes, and it's horrible. But I think I've done better, especially in my older, more mature years, of giving some grace, right, and trying to be understanding that every fight isn't always worth fighting, and every mountain ain't always worth climbing a lot of times. And it comes down to, is it worth it, right? I have to ask myself a lot of times, is my pride, because this person, I feel like they're disrespecting me or they're out of line, is my pride and my, like you said, your bravado, me wanting to prove a point, is it worth
what's going to come along with it? Right.
What that consequence could be, right? I've got a family. I've got a daughter, right?
Yep.
Do I want to overreact and end up in a jail cell somewhere, and my daughter grows up with it? So I really try to refocus and recenter my energy in the moments and think about, right, and ask myself, like Scott, you know, count to 10 and ask myself, is this worth it for me? Is it worth it for my family? Right. Now, if those answers are yes, then we can go in. But if 9 times out of 10, it's never worth it, right? Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen? I'm going to get into a fight. Either I'm going to win or I'm going to lose, or vice versa. Like it ain't going to matter. We're both going to go home and ice up our fucking faces. And is it worth my daughter seeing that and being scared and terrified? And I've done it in front of my sons. Like, and I told y'all the story about a good friend of mine that got disrespectful in my house with my wife. And when I got him to the front door, he didn't want to leave. And we had been drinking. We get to the front door, and essentially I could have handled it a whole lot better, because once I got him out the door and he hit me, he was already out of my house. I could have just shut the door and been like, I'm done with it. But because it was in front of my family, I decided
manhood was tested.
Drop elbows and blood everywhere. And I look up and my kids are standing around. My son's crying. He's freaked. It just wasn't worth it. And all I had to do was recenter myself and really be mature, right? And act like the adult in an adult situation. So for me, it's breathing and recentering a lot of times. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I appreciate y'all sharing. I feel the same way. A lot of times Berto talks about on the hashtag Ask Berto is there's an initial 10 seconds to where that fight or flight of you reacting or having to defend yourself or feeling that you've been violated to a certain time, you know, that alleviates after 15 seconds. So someone said it in the comments here. If you can wait that 15 seconds, we'll get into it. We'll get into more of that there though with Dusty Rudd. He's going to give us an update, and then
my brother's in the building.
Hey. Absolutely, take us out there, Scott.
My man, Dusty and Rob.
Sexy
so we're gonna. All right, so when we come back, we're gonna be with my brother, man. I haven't seen my man. I'm happy my man is here. My man Dusty Rudd is in the building, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break, pay some bills. We've had a good first half of our podcast. I appreciate you guys' interaction with us and showing us love. Again, this is the Triple Threat Vet Podcast. I'm your man, DJ Royalty. In the building today is my man, Al Hero, and also my man, Ty Cobb. My man, Matt J, is out doing business today, but we still want to send him love. I know he's there with us in heart and spirit. But when we come back, we're going to be with my man, Dusty Rudd.
And you know this. And you know this.
Triple Threat Vet Podcast, y'all.
Get ready to groove to the electrifying sounds of DJ Royalty. the maestro of mixing who knows how to turn any event into an unforgettable dance sensation. Royalty Entertainment is here to bring you the ultimate musical experience straight from the ones and twos in your ears and through your body to activate them dancing shoes. Get ready to sweat, party, and have a good time while your DJ needs are being blazed by none other than me, DJ Royalty. I have spent years crafting together a DJ entertainment empire that promises a customized blend of musical tracks, mix and mastering, and top quality sound, all while providing a vibrant ambiance to accommodate any of your DJ needs. Royalty Entertainment Services is your premier one-stop shop for top-tier musical entertainment and is hosted by yours truly. For more information, reservations, and booking, feel free to look around the website at godjroyalty.com. I am DJ Royalty, and this has been another Royalty Entertainment production. Yeah.
Gear up in style wearing Got Your Six apparel. Every purchase makes a difference. It's more than just clothing, it's a statement of gratitude. Upgrade without breaking the bank. Discover cost-effective, high-quality clothing made in the USA. Each shirt is handcrafted by our team in the great state of Texas and shipped for free to your front door. Got Your Six is where quality meets purpose. We're a small veteran-owned business that takes pride in the mission and the value of our products. Join us in growing a community, supporting our heroes, veterans, and first responders by wearing a custom design.
I thought you'd never ask.
Visit sameflagsameoath.com and use the code TRIPLETHREAT for 10% off. Follow us on all social media platforms for any upcoming releases or events, and you can reach out to us with questions anytime. We are here to support our brothers and sisters.
Hey everybody, Scott Bryson here with Veteran Mortgage Solutions, and today's quick shot instant intel is around interest rates. If you see an interest rate that seems too good to be true, it probably is. Keep in mind, there's a lot of factors that go into determining someone's interest rate, such as credit score, loan to value, debt to income ratio, property type, and more. So give me a call or somebody you trust to get the information you need, because there are people out there that will take advantage of you. And remember, you've got to own real estate to build generational wealth and financial security for you and your family. It's worth fighting for.
Yeah, baby.
We're back.
Yep, we're back.
And you know this.
Well, welcome back. Hey, I wanted to give a special. I wanted to send a shout out to my brother, man. Will Thibodeau was in the building, and he's been watching for the last couple of weeks. I think he's overseas, but he's serving right now. So, shouts out to him and everybody who's in here. I just kind of go through here. I see Amber, and I see White Mike and Dave Willis and Morgan, and all you guys that come in and chill with us on a regular basis. We appreciate y'all. I just want to give a shout out to you guys and thank you for being here.
So we kind of got an update now from y'all may remember we had a gentleman named Dusty Rudd on the show, and he had deployed with me in the 716th MP Battalion a couple times. Great guy. He shared the first step of his psychedelic trials to recover as a agent to recover from PTS. So we're going to bring Dusty on here and talk a little bit about some stage 2 kind of stuff he's talking about. So let's welcome Dusty Rudd.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, gentlemen? How y'all doing?
That's good, man. Good to see you, man.
It's a pleasure.
Good to see you, bro. I gotta tell you, man. I love you, man. It's so good to see you, man. I'm one of those people, man. I take what Tracy Morgan said, man. It's okay to tell people you love them, man. If you do,
nah, man, I appreciate it.
You got.
I appreciate. I love you too, brother.
Yeah, me and Dusty been saying you've changed since like 2005 or 6 or 7 or something like that.
Yeah,
so, yeah
I definitely have changed.
I have a very special bond with this guy. So yeah.
I appreciate
but anyway,
it,
so what are some of your triggers that that you're going to have to account for when you go out into a public situation? Say, like, I'll throw something on you, just like Walmart.
personal space. People coming in my area, like everybody was talking about, somebody bumping me. But for me, old me would have, hair in the back of my neck, sweat on my ankles, gripping my fist. It's time to go.
Right.
A couple years ago, I realized, if once that person leaves your area, at that point you become an aggressor and you start looking like a fool, and then you make the mistakes. They probably don't even think about you after it happens.
Right.
They probably don't even think about you doing it. 9 times out of 10, they're minding their own business, being in their own world and just oblivious to life. And that's their problem, not yours. And so when something like that happens, it's for you to check yourself and say, is it worth it?
Right.
And just move on with it and don't dwell on it. And I developed that a couple of years ago, honestly.
Damn.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's right on point right there.
Yep.
So what are some of the things you're doing now? Like, give us an update on what you're doing now with the psychedelics.
So currently I'm doing low dose ketamine. It's called a Troche. And so what it is I'm doing it through the organization Joyous Hearts through Heroic Hearts, which Heroic Hearts was the company I was going to do ayahuasca through. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it due to a new job, and then my wife being pregnant. I wasn't able at the time to do it and go to Peru and give myself up to that. So I started taking low dose ketamine in December. Then I do it twice a day. And as I'm right now on about 100 milligrams. And depends on how you do it. You can do it in the morning and at night. You can do it in once. What they want you to do is 20 minutes after you take it, you sit there and reflect. Meditation, mindfulness, just close your eyes and think about things. Basically take a grasp of reality and what's going on with your life and focus on a thought and put your mind to it and let it run and think about it and dwell on it and understand, take every bit of it and expand on that thought and enjoy it, because ketamine is kind of it works in the receptor of the brain to where you're able to look outwardly, as opposed to where a lot of times we look inwardly about ourselves and we focus on the inside and everything like that. But what it does is it gives you the ability to kind of think outside the box, so to say, and think about what's going on around you and how you are a piece of everything and how beautiful so much things outside of you are, as opposed to how we are as veterans. A lot of times we focus on the internal and the negative and all our crap and all this stuff that we're holding on to, as opposed to how pretty that tree looks, or that smell that you just caught on to. It's just the euphoric nature of all those little details we just don't really think about. And that's what I've been doing. The full journey.
Yeah.
Well, for one thing,
we don't have something.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I don't think
you
can use Dusty in Walmart in the same word. He's from Georgia. He probably got married in a Walmart, bro. You can't even, you really can't say like, well, what happened? You go to Walmart. Like, he has such great memories of his wedding day at the Walmart, bro. His anniversary was probably at the Shoney's. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. He's from Georgia.
I dressed in Geranimals. That was like my head to toe was a suit made from Geranimals from the kids section. Oh man, it was on point.
Wow.
We had the reception at the Subway.
We don't have a segment called like Rack 'em like Jim Rome had back in the day. I put everything in sports context, but if we did have that take right there, that little segment, that'd been Rack, man. That was excellent. Thank you very much for sharing that, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, so you're taking it. Explain a little bit more to me, like the mindfulness, like after you said you take it and then 10 minutes later do some mindfulness. What are some of those things that you focus on?
So it just depends on your schedule. And so what I try to do, and I've kind of gotten away from it just because of my life, and I've got some wild things going on right now, and getting up early in the morning isn't always the best right now for me. But what I was doing was really working for me. I'm going to get back into it. Is I wake up in the morning, and as soon as I wake up, I take a half a dose, and then I put on mindful glasses, which is kind of like blindfold. It just dulls your visual senses. And then I put on either a meditation or a mindfulness YouTube, and I'll listen to it. And then I literally lay down and let go. And I completely let go. And I let my mind go to where it needs to go. I don't focus a thought on anything, but when a thought does come to me, I let it happen. I don't necessarily, you don't grasp on something where you just hone in on it. you let that feeling happen with you. And with this medication and medicine, it does it in so much more. I'm expounding just reality and the way it feels. It makes everything so much more important and true and real. And you come out of it and it's immediate. You know, where medications and drugs that they give us nowadays and all these SSRIs, it's, oh, you need to do it for 6 weeks. You need to do this. I'm talking about instantaneous.
How long does it last for? Like, how long, once you take it, how long are you in that realm?
So what I'm doing is, it's kind of like I split it up during the day. I have been doing it when I'm driving. I would not suggest that. I have a tolerance for it. So it's good for me actually, because it kind of cuts that edge of, in the Florida traffic. Al, you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Those people just can't drive. So you're in that Florida traffic. So you got to ease that little bit of tension. And so for me, it makes me feel so much better going into work. And I either take it at the end of the day or like right before the end of the day as I'm heading home from work. Yeah. And it lasts, those 2 doses of 50 milligrams at a time last me through the entire day. They can do IV treatments, which the VA is now sponsoring in certain areas, which I'm trying to get involved with. And that, if you can get in and do that, about 6 treatments, it lasts about an hour's the treatment. And they said if you do it twice a week for 3 weeks, the effects will last for months.
Wow. Damn.
This is such gold knowledge to have, because I mean, I think I shared this with the guys. I don't know if I actually shared this with you, Dusty, but after hearing your experience, hearing Josh Graber's experience, I realized that is not really something that I struggle with. So for me, getting as many tools out there on this podcast that we do with my brothers, like, because they're the sides of my personality, and we're just like intermeshed with each other. We finish each other's sentences. It's really cool to have those guys. So I love being able to share all these tools that you give us, the rescue gives us with the dog care. Man, this is the mushy part, I guess, of the podcast that I really like. But I love hearing your success story, man. I hate hearing that just because someone has deployed so many times, has been in combat, that we're broken. And thank you for changing that stigma.
Yeah.
And getting the word out there.
You're kind of broken until you find a way to get fixed. The key thing is finding something that's going to get you fixed up. And I you know what? I don't like to say the word fix. And I don't like to say, like you said, Ty, the word broken, because you're not. You're just out of your element temporarily, right? Because you went outside of your element serving, and now we just got to get you back to the person that you were or that you need to be. And the thing is that I think a lot of times people get to a point where they feel like they can't get back, or they lost their whole identity and they don't know what to do. So they stop searching and they just focus on the bad. But what we try to promote on this podcast is different ways and things that you can do to get yourself feeling back like yourself. And there's things out there. You gotta find what works for you, and what works for Dusty might not work for you. What works for me might not work for you, but there is something out there that will work for you. And as long as you keep staying on the path to find it, you're good. Because when you find it, you're going to be good. But if you stop and you don't try to find it, it can get really bad. And we don't want you to stop. We want you to keep moving. So when Dusty says the stuff that's working for him, I'm amazed, man, because you can see the glow on his face. You can see the happiness on his aura. And when he was talking about what he went through, the forehead too. But I got one too. That's why I keep this hat. I don't want to pull mine out. But just seeing you happy, man. But you said something. You said a new child or something like that came in, right?
I was going to ask, how's the little one doing, bro?
Yeah, I was going to ask the other thing. I was like, what do you have to do now? How did the baby come about? What did you do to make it? Talk to me. How do you make babies anymore? I don't even know.
You see, there's a stork involved, and we'll talk offline, okay?
Gotcha.
I'll tell you, how things happen. No,
the stork comes in with a Tom Glavine jersey on for you, and drops off the little one, right?
Yeah, the mailman comes by a couple times.
Dale Murphy. There you go.
Yeah. The great.
What did you say, Dusty?
No, so about 3 weeks ago, or a little bit over 3 weeks ago, we had an early arrival. My daughter Delilah decided to show her face. she decided that she wanted to show a little earlier than she needed to be here. So we've had a long couple of weeks. She was unfortunately had this little stay in the NICU for 2 weeks, but she had apparently she got a really fast heart rate, so which means she knows she's gonna be really energetic. Don't know where she gets that from. So
I have an idea.
yeah, so it's going. I said a couple of months ago, I said this one's gonna be my problem child, and sure enough, she's already she got that ball rolling quick. But I do see a difference in how I am interactively, and not. It's hard gauging with her because of being in the NICU and grasping that bond that I didn't get with her that I did with my first daughter. So it's hard. So I'm trying to understand and help my wife where I can. And the medicine I'm taking has actually brought me into a better spot than I was for my daughter the first time, because I was so overwhelmed and so anxious every time she coughed or something happened. I would freak out because I was just, I had my son, but I wasn't around for it. I was in Iraq. So it was, I never really had interacted with that. But yeah, she's here. She's kicking. She's hanging out over in the living room right now, getting ready to go to bed. She's sleeping almost all the way. She's got one wake up at night now in 3 weeks. So
that's good.
So Dusty, Morgan had a question. Obviously, some of our viewers didn't see your previous podcast. So if you don't mind, could you? So I know you've been on a pretty long journey with the psychedelic world, right? If you maybe briefly kind of give us like the rundown of kind of, you left the Army, right? After a bunch of combat tours, and then you kind of got into this psychedelic world, and kind of what have all of you tried and things you've done, and kind of just, if you don't mind, because I know that there's Morgan's question. She didn't
quick synopsis, Morgan, for reference, did basically everything in the book, all the gambit from the VA, from the in-person therapy to cognitive-based therapy to SSRIs to like literally being inpatient. Basically, I went through every step that the VA offered me for mental health treatment. And I kept hitting walls and barriers and side effects to everything. And nothing worked for me, not because I wasn't trying, it just my body was not allowing me. My mind was not being a sponge. It was more going internal than it was being external and actually gauging and going off of what everybody was giving me. I was more, they're not giving me anything. They're not here for me because my brain didn't allow it. So I dove into psychedelics after some research. And in May of 23, I went to Mexico and tried a medicine called 5-MeO-DMT. It is something that works similar to what we have in our brain already. We already have DMT in our brain already. It just is not released normally. So what 5-MeO-DMT does is it gives you a blocker for that gland to where it's released in your body for about a 20-minute period, to where it gives you a psychedelic experience that allows you to release barriers that you didn't know you had and softens your brain to a more in-depth grasp of everything around you and who you are as a person, and more of a spiritual being as opposed to all these painful things that you think and grasp onto. And the easiest way to explain it is basically you are giving up all those little things in your mind that hold you to fear, anxiety, anger, all these things over your life that you don't even realize are there. And what it did for me was it opened up a whole new pathway for vision and acceptance and love and letting go. And since then, I've just continued into the path and looking more into it about just kind of just the maintenance period of it. It's not necessarily saying that it completely changed my life, but it gave me the tools to understand what I can do and the path that I've got forward. And so I've just continued on to that path and doing little different trials and things, and still continue to learn, because it's not like you're always going to be healed and 100% normal, because when you're 100% normal, this is from a faithful standpoint, you're going to be dead. That's when God says, here, it's time for you to go. You know everything, time for you to go. You're always learning. You're always teaching. You're always figuring out the way it is. And so I came about ketamine through an agency that was offering ayahuasca, which is another form of DMT, but it's just a different action in the way it's ingested and taken into the body. And because I couldn't do that, they offered me the ketamine. And ketamine is just a little tincture that you put in your mouth. It dissolves. It's about a 20-minute dissolving, and then you go about your day. It's great. They check up on me. They talk to me. through this agency. It's actually free because I got it through Heroic Heart, so I don't have to pay. And so it's great.
Wow.
If that's
Yeah.
a little snippet.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what, that video right there, we need to wrap up and edit a little bit and put that out in your name, brother. Cause I mean, that could help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like to go through just to hear the steps that you've gone through with, I know you from service. I know what you went through in service. I was there for some of that stuff. So, man,
yeah.
Anyway, I
it,
really love your story. I'm not seeing anything for me. I'm just looking at how far you've come.
Yeah.
Like, brother,
and going through the steps.
You amaze me.
Yeah.
And you amaze me. And that's not easy to do to impress me. You know, I'm not easily impressed, brother. You know that from my service time. You are fucking impressive, brother. Keep doing what you do.
We commend you, brother, for going through the steps. Like I said, we just try to promote the fact that understanding where you came from and what you went through, right? To understand what you went through, a lot of people would have given up, because at that point it would have been easy to give up and say, you know what, everything is jacked up. I don't want to be here no more. I'm out of here, right? And that's what a lot of people are doing. But you are a true testament of going through the steps. Keep on 1 step to 2 steps, 2 steps to 3 steps. Keep on climbing that ladder to get yourself back to smiling and having kids and enjoying new life and things again, man. That's the amazement of just that fortitude to keep on fighting, man. Keep putting your hands up, keep getting up, keep fighting. And that's like I said, that's why we put this out here, because there's somebody that's listening that's down and feeling the kind of way. But if you can just,
there's somebody that's listening. Oh, sorry,
right.
DJ, go ahead. There's somebody listening who's already done all the things that some of us have tried, or things that he's already done, right? Because for me, I'm like maybe like Ty, like some of the medication that I'm on, or the medication I'm on, that seems to work for me, right? So that worked for me, but it doesn't you're a testament to that, Dusty. It doesn't work for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So somebody out there may hear this and say, man, I've been, like Scott said, I'm at my wit's end. I've taken all this medication. I've tried, they've tried everything from medical marijuana to maybe they self-medicate and they drink until they can't anymore, right? And that's what they're doing. But there are so many options and avenues out there for veterans, right? And this veteran community, that through a little research or through a little education, like what Dusty just did for us, right? Educate us on the other options. There could be somebody out there, like you said, who is at the end of their rope, and they're to the point where I don't know what else to do. I just can't do this anymore. But there are other avenues, right? There's always another option besides taking your own life, or besides doing something insane. There's always something out there. You just got to be willing to stand up again. You have to tie your bootstraps on again, blouse your pants, and go back into the fight every single day. So,
yeah, I see Jen is in the building too. I want to give a shout out to Jen Lee. I'm bad with these names, but I see you, Jen, in here, and I appreciate you coming in. So
Jen is a promoter for cook-offs here in Texas. I mean, she does judging for this and promoting for that, and so she's involved with the Dandy Dietz Memorial Cook-Off that she's done. She's the promoter for that. So she did it last year, and then she's doing it again this year. So she knows a lot of veterans that tell her all kinds of stories. So she has a network of that. I love what she does for the veteran community. So that's how I got involved with barbecue. So yeah, definitely shout out to Jen Lee, and shout out JC's good old boys, Tom Clark. What's up, man?
Yeah, appreciate everybody coming in. We need it, because where we can get it, build that network to help, reach one, teach one. That's what we want to do here.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
It's all about growth. I mean, it's not saying that one pathway is better than the other. It's just finding that, like you said, that network and that group and that family that works for you. And that way you can piggyback things off people and say, hey, I've tried this, that, and the other. Do you know anything? And somebody might have tried everything, like you said, and they may not be in this podcast, but they might talk to Ty or DJ or Al or Matt, and you just have to say, hey, I've listened to this, and this might be an avenue. It may not work for them, but it may steer them in a path to look for a better treatment for themselves, and put that treatment on themselves, and actually when you put it on yourself, and it's only you to go and find that journey to fix those problems. when you've hit that absolute stopping point, when you think you can't go any further, and you hit that wall and you move forward, it makes it so much better once you finally actually jump over that hurdle, because then you see what you've done, and then you in turn can go back and help others, because you got across the fence and you figured out how to do it, and then you can go back and lend that hand to somebody else to help them over, and then they lend a hand to somebody, and then it just carries snowballs on itself, and that network builds and builds and builds into where everybody's helping each other and everybody's finding a pathway.
There you go.
And I think you kind of, one thing that you said, and I think it falls back on the individual as well, because you have to realize, right, that there's an issue, right? You have to be honest with yourself. Self-reflection is hard to do, right? You know, looking in the mirror and saying, I'm part of the problem, but there is a solution, or I can be a part of my own solution as well, and be willing to take the help that others are offering, or take just being honest with yourself, right? And saying, I know there's an issue. I have an issue. It needs to be fixed. Where, you know, there's an avenue, there's an option, but you have to really be honest and self-reflect and be willing to accept the help, right? Because if, like you said, you did medication and it didn't do much, right? Because mentally, and you were not at that time in your life, maybe accepting of what that was, and it just wasn't yours. But now you're at a place in your life where you're willing to accept that you have default, you have fault, you have faults, you have issues, or you've gained issues, or you've had them maybe forever. You got them through the Army, and be willing to say, I'm going to be honest with myself and know that I need to get help to be better for your family, your lovely daughters, right? But also, really, the reality is to be better for yourself as a human being and as a man and as a person, right? To be that change and to be that difference. So I love you, Dustin. We talk all the time, man. I think you're absolutely an amazing warrior, right? And you're still out here fighting the good fight. And we definitely commend you. And I salute you, brother, for doing what you do. Absolutely, bro.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and then they're generally put in the comments there, the DannyDeetsMemorial.com. They offer grant programs to assist in the treatment that's not covered by VA and private insurance. That's exactly the network we want to build. We want to inform. We're a lot like the Pat McAfee show. I think we're comedic informative. Sometimes we'll get deep, but most of the time we're going to keep it light. So, hey, I did want to bring on real quick, because I'm not for sure if y'all have met like video to video, Dusty, but I want you to meet David Willis. We'll bring him on real quick.
Yeah!
I think you're muted, bro. Man.
I am muted.
Now, veteran podcast brother, what's going on?
Man, I'm hanging in there like a hare in a biscuit, my friend, let me tell you. So
fresh off a Houston trip.
Yeah. No, dude, Houston was awesome. You guys, you know, Scott and Ty, and then Matt and Becky. And sorry we missed Al, you know, in Houston. Houston was awesome. You know, the rodeo was awesome. Then meeting Bubba Wesley, and I've been watching the show since you guys started upstairs with the wife, and I had to come down. And you were talking about triggers earlier, like when you're out in public and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I wanted to get your take.
So for me, like when I'm out in public, I'm like a lot of you guys. Personal space is something that is real icky on me, because if somebody's in my personal bubble, I call it my psychosis bubble. It bugs the shit out of me. And if somebody comes up behind me and just stands like within my bubble, you know, I got arm's reach. If you're in my bubble, you're too close to me. And I don't deal with it all that well, especially if I'm by myself, or, you know, I got my kids with me, because then overprotective, you know, the overprotectiveness comes out in me, because I'm like, all right, what are these people doing behind me? Why are they so close to my kids or my wife? And so for me, if I'm out in public, I always have my back up against the wall, and I know that's my hypervigilance kicking in and stuff like that. And I try to control that to a minimum, but it's hard, especially if you're in a crowded place. Like, so rodeo, for example, when we're in Houston rodeo, we were walking around, and then we posted up while we were waiting on Matt and Becky to come. And then, so what I did, I posted up on a post, and I just stood there, but my head was on a swivel. So I was always, you know, looking around and seeing what was going on. And then Julie says right there, my wife, she said, when he sits at table is also a trigger. I have to have my back against the wall or facing the door. So what I try to do sometimes, if she's not there to, keep me in check, what I try to do is just breathe, relax, and be like, all right, nothing's going to happen. Even though it's still in the back of the brain that something might happen, but because you never know. The world is crazy today. Like Scott getting broken into at the mall. I mean, that shit's that would piss me off, and I swear I would probably hunt them down to the end of the earth until I
Yeah.
caught 'em. I mean, that's just me. That's how I am. And like I said earlier, I got a shovel and alibi for you, Scott. So I can come back to Houston anytime. So, yeah.
David, is it a trigger for you sometimes, bro? Like when you go into a store, like somewhere you're going to shopping, and you get to the aisle with the crayons, and they're out, like there's no more boxes of crayons. Like, does that really piss you off? And you're like, where are all the crayons? And like you got to go like the next Dollar General, two feet, 2 blocks down the street, and they're out too. I bet you flip out, bro.
Especially if they don't have the red
flips
ones.
out.
Right.
Yeah,
Those red crowds, man.
About as bad as you with the baby oil, probably.
Oh man, we're on a journey with Ty to get back into baby oil shape. Right now, my wife was like, "We should go to the beach." I was like, "Have you seen me?" I was like, "I'll be the guy at the beach. I'll be that dad at the beach now that's under the umbrella with the shirt on." You know what I'm saying? Like, no, kids, the water's cold. I don't want to get in yet. But you give me a couple of months, bro. I'm gonna be in the Speedo, the Marine Corps Silkies.
Yeah.
So the update to my weight is I put it on social media, but I didn't really. I don't think I've said it on the show yet. But
that's why I lost
9 pounds. I lost 9 pounds before I went on the cruise. And when I got back today, I was shaving everything, and I was like, I wonder how much weight I've gained being on this cruise. And so I weighed myself, and I still weighed 9 pounds. So here's what this tells me.
You still weighed 9 pounds? Are you?
No, I had still lost 9 pounds. So
I
hadn't gained it back.
God damn, Ty, you weighed 9 pounds. What the hell happened to you?
Damn, that was a long time in the sauna, baby. But I didn't sit in the sauna, man. I pampered the shit out of myself.
Crack cocaine.
Yeah, I was wearing a robe. Tying a robe. I mean, come on, that's a whole vibe right there. Tying a robe.
How long we gonna be on this ship anyway?
Yeah.
But yeah,
we know we need to find that gypsy in the movie Thinner. I'm dating myself, right? Who could just come and rub on my face and be like, Thinner. For me, I'd want him to be like taller, bro. And me and Dusty be, you know what I mean? So yeah, we need to find that guy. If you weigh 9 pounds, bro, you got a bug.
Yeah. So I'm not going to put anybody in the hot seat today, but I'm going to put everybody in it. The hot seat is this. In the chat, I want you guys to tell me what you done this week, right? For what have you done since the last time we talked to you, as far as looking in the mirror, seeing what you don't like, and doing something about it. I want you guys to put that in the chat now, and then we're going to go around the room, and we're going to find out what everybody else has done to, do something about it. So what this week since last week, Ty, what did you do to do something about it?
Well, so on deck 4 of the Magic cruise boat, it's a track. So 4 times around, it was a mile.
There you go.
Man, I walked this thing so many times. Most of the time, I was looking for Tatum, and it's the easiest way for me to get away from people because nobody goes on a down track during the thing. Nobody was on it. So that's the easiest way for me to get away from people. So I walked my ass down the track from the forward all the way to aft if I wanted to go get something to eat. For breakfast or something. And then, it's the easiest way for me to go look for Tatum or get back to the room. I learned the elevator shafts. I had to recon that whole ship by the time I went everywhere that a civilian could go.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the cameras on the Disney Magic, they probably know that I had them reconned and scoped out because, crew members, they're like, you need to go that way, sir. Okay, gotcha. My bad. I wanted to see everything. It was so fun. I love the Magic, man. All right, my bad.
A lot of steps in.
That's how I coped. I went and saw freaking Mickey Mouse.
Gotcha. All right. What about you, Al?
So mine's not as eventful as Ty's, but it's been something small. So for me, I find myself, how it is, Ty, Scott and Ty, right? We work from home, so I don't feel like. I feel like I've gotten kind of lazy, right? Where I sleep in a little longer than I want to on the days that I don't go to the gym, or sometimes I just don't go. I'm like, you know what, 30 more minutes, right? But one thing that I've started doing this week, and my wife actually noticed it today, was pretty funny, right? She was like, I've started getting up in the morning, and instead of going to work in hoodies and pajama pants, right, or whatever, I've really started getting up and trying to be more productive. And it started with me getting up and, after my shower, instead of throwing on some sweats, it sounds crazy, but putting on jeans, putting on my boots, not my gaiters, those are special, but, and then putting on like a collared shirt, or an actual getting dressed like you would do to go to work. And I feel like it's made me more productive. I feel like I'm, I feel better about myself, like I'm doing something, but it's made me a little bit more productive, in my opinion. And my wife noticed. She asked me, like, do you feel like you feel better? And like, you feel like, I'm like, yeah. And it's all mental, right? It's just a mental deal. But I do feel like if I get up and I start my day, I don't feel as lazy. I don't feel like, I got a couch in my office. Like, it is really easy to be like, I ain't got nothing going on. Let me just rest my old eyes for a minute. But when I'm up and I'm dressed, I'm shirt tucked in, I do feel more productive. So I've tried to make it a point to start my day off. Like, and I know everybody's probably seen the meme about, from the SEAL commander who's like, make your bed, right? The first task you do every day is make your bed. I try to do that, right? So I'm trying to live by that mantra a little bit more, like get up, make your bed, get dressed, actually be productive, right? So, and it seems to make me feel a whole lot better during my work day, for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, we could have racked that one, except for I guess we need to do something with Al's internet, because if that would have been in good frame to where I could make a clip out of that, man, that would have been I would have racked that.
Hey, it's my neighbor. Hey, bro, like I'm still in the Wi-Fi from the neighbor. Like,
come on, man.
They probably got
trying to do a
TV
podcast
on,
over here.
I got a
remote. Wasn't the first podcast.
Where's my universal remote?
Freezing.
I got a universal remote. I shouldn't cut his TV on.
Right. So, Brother Willis, how about yourself? What did you do to do something about whatever situation you got?
Well, so with my VA journey that I'm doing today, I went back to see my therapist today. But my weight loss journey, because I do need to lose about 30 more pounds to get down to where I want to be comfortable at. I've started watching more what I eat and taking less portions. Of course, I work outside all day, every day, playing in the dirt for the telecommunications company that I work for. And so one is portion control. Instead of going, for 3 scoops of mac and cheese, I do 1 now. Then we switched over to whole grain pasta, which we're getting ready to switch over to whole wheat pasta. Because they said I was diabetic because my A1C was like a 7.1. So I eliminated pretty much all white starch as much as possible. My downfall was white bread because I love eating white bread. So we've moved to whole grain bread, and now we're on honey wheat bread. So now we got to take the pasta from whole grain pasta to wheat pasta and portion control. That's always been a big thing for me because I love eating. It's one of those things. It's food for my soul, and so now I have to control what I eat, how I eat it, and I think I'm down about 15 total pounds so far. So
there you go, bro.
I got a little bit longer to go, and then got a colonoscopy coming up. They want to check for colon
cancer.
Good
Lord,
there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, that's exciting, bro. Hey, that's part of like the Navy's like training, bro. Like we do gas mask training and then like go from there to the colonoscopy desk. Like it's pretty awesome.
What happens in the barracks stays in the barracks. Al. I'm talking about this, bro.
Yeah, that's good, man.
I'm not ready for it.
Yeah. Dusty, how about yourself, man? You smiling and happy, man? You tell us what you're doing.
So, I didn't talk about this earlier, but since I've been around, I actually started working for the first time in probably 3 years. I'm working for a government contract company, so I've been there for over 90 days, doing really good with that. But in that same time frame, I've kind of not been at home much and seen my daughter. And then after the NICU visit, we didn't see my 2-year-old. So this past weekend, I took her to Disney, just me and her. So I took a 2-year-old to Disney by myself for 2 days. That that just checking myself and understanding that I need to, give her some time. Her mom's got the little one. I'm going to take care of her. Like I said before in the last podcast, at the time I wasn't giving her the attention she needed. I have been, but I kind of laxed a little bit because of work. So I jumped in, took her to Disney, went all out, let her do what she wanted to do, give her her own. I even started to learn how to do her hair.
There you go.
I didn't know how to do that. Like I forced myself into it, those little tasks.
Yeah.
So doing that and just becoming more present than I already was, even though I was present, I was, just doing little things, little details. And on top of the, I also made an appointment for the gallbladder check because I've been having issues for the past 8 months and I've been pushing it off. Trying to get that taken care of next week. So hopefully they can go ahead and cut it out. And that way I start going back and start getting active again like I used to be.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So see, world, this is what we're talking about right here. It's all about
you, bro. Hold up.
So for me, I don't get to get out of it. I'm gonna tell you what I've done this week, different from last week. My wife and my daughter are on spring break, so I just been getting some rest, man. Like literally, I've rested, and then when I'm not, I've been very I've been walking a lot more, like, just trying to walk, doing the laundry. Like, you don't know how many steps you got straightening up and doing laundry, and taking stuff to the washer and to the dryer, then back and folding it and putting it away and hanging up this and that. So I've just been trying to do the busy work stuff that I haven't had time to do, but it's a small win. And in those small wins is exercise. So, a lot of times people think that you have to go to the gym or you have to go somewhere, or you have to go walking to be moving. Just move. Just intentionally move. Intentionally do something. Like Dusty said, if you're look at your body, right? If you've had signs that something isn't right, make an appointment to go to the doctor to get it checked out. You know what I mean? You have to do those things for yourself. Sometimes we get so busy in life, working and doing for everybody else and handling this and handling that. And by the time that you sit down and listen to your body, a lot of times it's too late. So I encourage everybody who's out there, don't look at it as a long 100-yard touchdown. The only way you're going to get to the touchdown is you got to get it 1 yard at a time, right? First downs. Then you get to the end zone. So I just encourage you all to do things and push yourself to get to a first down, whether if it's getting an appointment to get something checked that you haven't, right? You know that you need to walk, you need to exercise, do a little bit. You don't have to do a lot. If you used to be able to do 400 push-ups a day and now you can't, do 5 today. It's 5 more than what you did yesterday. So the small wins, we're looking for the small wins, everybody, and we're getting into the end zone together. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I didn't do anything major, drastic. The week before, I was going to the gym every week and trying to work out and get back in there. But man, I'm about to be 50, man. I can't do the stuff I used to do in the gym anymore.
Hey, they don't lie, bro. Black don't crack, bro. You look like you're 21. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
you're younger than me.
Damn.
Hey,
I will say this.
My birthday.
I had some good. I didn't bring it up more earlier, but I'll tell you guys. I had kind of a good thing happen, right? I think I shared it with Ty before. So I started, and I haven't actually done it yet, but I went through the process because you got to do background checks. It's crazy to do it, but I'm working and volunteering, which is something that I like we're talking about now. It's something that makes me feel good, right? To give back or to help others, right? So it's kind of a selfish give, right? So but. My wife started doing it, and then she kind of volunteered me. Essentially, what happened. So my wife volunteers at hospice. So she goes in and she actually goes and sits at people's homes, and it really frees people up to go and be able to go grocery shopping or just to get a break from taking care of their loved one. So she goes and she sits with these people and has puzzles and all this other stuff, and just gets to spend time with somebody else who is at the end of their life, right? Like the end of their journey is coming to an end. And it's very sobering, right? To spend time with somebody in those moments. So like a good wife, she volunteered me because they were like, we need a veteran person to come and sign the certificates and fold the flags and give them their final flag and do the pinning ceremonies, and something really easy. And she was like, my husband will do it. She didn't ask me. She didn't even bring it up. Like she came up, I was like, hey, by the way, here's a packet of shit you got to do. And here's a book. The handbook's this thick. You got to take a test on. I'm like, damn. So I ended up going through the process and getting it done. And I reached out to them today just to see. and I'm pretty excited. So there's a gentleman he's a Korean War, and he's a Vietnam veteran, combat veteran pilot. And he's I don't know what he's got, heart stuff, but he's pretty functional. They say he's got a museum. He lives on the river somewhere. He's got a museum, like a military museum in his house. And he is, his family is like, he's just kind of lonely. He just wants somebody to sit with and talk, right? So they reached out. So they're going to connect us, right? Because you have to kind of match with these people. It's almost like old people Tinder, right? So,
how messed up is he if he matched with you?
Right.
Yeah, bro. He fucked up too. So I'm excited to get the opportunity to go and sit with him and actually spend time with this guy and really hear about his service and what he did and let him tell his war stories and we can talk about the red light districts and all that, the lady boys in Thailand, all that cool stuff. So pretty excited to have the opportunity. Nervous, I ain't gonna lie. I'll tell my podcast family I'm very nervous because
he should be.
I'm nervous, bro.
If he has to listen to you tell a story, he's gonna be like, hey, bro, just let me out.
I am. I'm nervous.
Hey, what you get for Christmas? He's like, well, what happened was we went up to the thing and we got a tree, right? We got the tree, and the trees have green leaves on them and stuff. And then some trees they have the thing where you can hang the stuff on them, and some of them that you can't really hang them on. So we went to that, right? So on the way back from getting the Christmas tree, we put it on the roof, right? So on the car there's a roof, but the windows didn't roll down because last week we got into a car accident, so the window don't necessarily
spot the hell on. So yeah, that was my good news story. Right? I'm gonna go hang out with him.
Oh my goodness!
Money, hates his kids, and he gonna leave it all to me in his will. I don't know.
Oh my goodness!
So yeah,
I'll tell the best stories, but I love him, bro.
Hey,
you say
maybe his nurse is hot. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my goodness! Well, we have all our brothers in the building. This is the Triple Threat Bet Podcast. We've had my man Dusty Rudd in the building. Again, we have my man Dave Willis in the building. I know. Where's the wife at, Dave? Where's she at?
She just commented.
There she goes.
What's up, David made a change. She said he started wearing his bra. I guess I don't know if it was her bra or his bra, but she was like, started wearing a bra. I'm like, good job, David. You get them boys back where they belong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, Ty, I know you're trying to keep us on track and keep us in the thing. Did you have anything else on your list that we needed to go through, since we got some insight from the two brothers that came in today? I just want to make sure that we.
No, man, like as per usual, there was no real talk before this. I didn't have internet, so we didn't plan what we were going to say tonight. And some of the things we go through, man, it just because we're so intertwined, we can just wax poetic.
There you go. That's
something I've been doing for the last 35 years, man. I love being able to look at things from a different way.
Yeah.
And you guys help me do that. So, hey, Dusty, thank you so much for coming on the show, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to let you go now, but is there anybody you want to shout out? And
no, I just good to see Willis for the first time. I've seen him pop in and out, so it's good to see him for the first time. No, I don't got anybody, man. Just want to let everybody know, continue whatever journey you're on. If you reach out to those who are out there to help you, don't be afraid to make a phone call. Like everybody keeps saying on here, everybody is out there for you. It's just one phone call away, even if it's calling out. And I know that phone call's gonna be a long phone call.
Well, yeah, I tell you, Dusty, I think I've told you this before. Some of those social media videos you used to do where you would do all the crazy social media things at the time. That got me through a lot, because I longed after when I first got out of the military in 2017, because I took a year off of work. So I was just here with my thoughts. And so I longed to connect with all you guys so I probably annoyed the shit out of, a certain 4-star general that we were in close proximity with. I annoyed the shit out of him, Woodring, yourself. All them sergeant majors I know, and generals and sergeant majors and I keep in touch with my soldiers, man. I love the network we're building. I love the people that relate, and this is just our lives, man. This is how we cope. This is just another way to bring that message. So thanks for doing that, Dusty, and we'll keep up with you, brother.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, one last thing, Ty, what you did last week, man. Seriously, props to you for that.
Yes, sir.
For posting that and your journey. Seriously,
yes,
that's a big step.
Yeah,
I want to tell you that. That's congratulations, man, and just keep that path. Okay.
I'm gonna get there. My buddy Jared Muse, he was a Marine captain. I know he's at least a company commander. I don't know if he was a major or whatever comes after captain in the Marine Corps. Same as us, right? Yeah.
So look,
Yeah, same.
I'm gonna put it right here, out here, right in the air, right now. This is my brother we talk about right here. I'm telling my man Ty. We could talk about all this stuff, but this is my commitment to you in your journey. There's a park. You know, we're only about 15 minutes away from each other. There's a park. When I rode past it the other day that I saw it, I said, you know what? I'm going to call my brother up. We're going to go walk around this lake. We're going to do it. So I want to do that with you at least twice a week. We're going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Me and you will get a chance to wax poetic, man, get some fresh air. The weather's starting to get nice. But that's my goal with you. I'm going to get with you. If I had to come pick you up or we have to meet, me, you, Tatum, me, you, the wife, me, you, whoever, we're going to walk around that lake together, man, and get some steps in together, get a chance to connect and talk. If anybody here in Texas that wants to join us, I'll let you know where it's going to be and you can come. But if you have a friend, I would tell you, even my man Al that's out there in Florida, I know he has friends out there. You guys, man, set up a time, get together, and take a walk. Take a walk, man, and just have a conversation with somebody outside of the phone, outside of text, outside in the element, with the wind blowing, the dogs barking, the birds chirping, outside in the atmosphere, man. And it's hard to motivate yourself by yourself. But if you can do it with somebody else and just get a chance to connect with your friend, with your cousin, with your wife, with your brother, with your kid, and get some exercise in the same time, I challenge you all to do it. And that's what I'm going to do with my brother. So we're going to set that up, Ty. Me and you going to walk around this lake. I don't know how big it is, how small it is, but I've seen it, and that's what came in my mind. So we're going to do that. So I challenge you. Hey, David, you and Julie, I want you guys out there in the element. Walk around the block together. Hold hands. Connect with each other. Hey,
Put your bras on.
You my man,
I hope that when you and Ty are walking, bro, I hope you and Ty, when you Ty are out there walking, that dude who stole your shoes comes jogging by in those shoes.
Yeah. I hope so too.
That's gonna be a good day.
I wish
I really hope so too. Yeah, but I want you guys to do that, man. Find somebody, man. Take a walk with them, man. I just want to hear the conversation that happened with that. So if you guys are out here today and you're listening to the podcast, I want you to find somebody this week and take a walk with them, and we'll talk about it next week on our podcast. But that's going to be my commitment to my man Ty. I'm going to set it up. We're going to make it happen, brother, because I want to see you reach your goal, and I'm a goal-oriented person. So if your goal is to lose that weight, I can sit here and ask you how you're doing it, or I can get involved and help be a part of that journey for you. So that's what I want to do. That's my commitment to you, my brother.
Yeah! I appreciate you. I'm for it. I'm all for it. I'm there with you.
There we go. So we come to that time, man. I guess it's that time to say goodbye to all our friends and family, unless there's something that you guys that we missed that we didn't put up.
I want to say something real quick.
Go ahead.
Dusty, it was nice meeting you. I'd like to get hooked up with you offline so we can chat. But so you guys know we're doing the Vietnam Traveling Wall with the Cost of Freedom Tribute, July 25th through the 30th in Shepherdsville. Well, in Bullitt County, where I live, there was 2 veterans that paid the ultimate sacrifice, one in Shepherdsville, one in Mount Washington. So we were trying to locate family members of the fallen soldiers. And as of the other day, we had reached both families. So we're going to bring the families there to the wall. We're going to have a big ceremony honoring them and the sacrifice that their loved one paid. So I'm super excited about that. And if you haven't seen the Vietnam Traveling Wall, the one that's coming to Shepherdsville is an 80% replica. So it's 300 and something odd feet long. So, but it has every name from the Vietnam era. It has the Cost of Freedom tribute, which is 9/11, Somalia, Afghanistan, Iraq. It's friggin' amazing. And I'm going to be doing a lot of short videos and stuff from there. So, and I think the governor of Kentucky is going to be coming out as well. So it's going to be an amazing experience. I know a lot of people don't have the money to go to DC to see the original wall. I was fortunate enough to go in 2019 to see the wall, but I've seen it in the daytime, and they always say at nighttime it transforms. So I'm kind of excited to come and see it, the travel wall at nighttime and see what it's going to be. So
yeah,
but yeah,
I'll
definitely.
be there, David. I'm coming, David. I'm coming.
Oh, I'll be
Well,
ready
hey,
for you.
we'll let you go, Dusty. Thank you so much, brother, for coming. Love you, and we'll keep in touch.
Always, brother.
See you,
All right,
Dusty.
talk to you soon.
My man.
Hey, Willis, right before we let you go here real quick, who you got coming up next on your next couple podcasts?
All right. So next couple podcasts for me, let me go back to my calendar. So this Sunday, I have Marine Corps veteran Tim Sears, who's a comedian, with special guest host Brandon Johnston, who is also a Marine Corps comedian. So that'll be on Sunday at 7:00 Eastern. And then on Monday, I got your boy Kyle from Project Zero coming on 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And then I have our boy Dexter Pitts, who's with the I Am Pitts podcast, who's an Army veteran author. He's coming up on the 24th. 25th, I have Kentucky Wounded Warriors coming on. And then on the 31st, which is Easter Sunday, I don't have anything. So that rounds out my month of March. And then I'm booked all the way out to May, getting ready to start booking into June. So, yeah,
Well,
it's
we definitely appreciate you coming on. I always love your insight, but we definitely update all your stuff whenever you put guests out, and we put your stuff on our social media pages. So thank you so much, brother, for coming on. We'll catch you again soon. Yes, sir.
Love you.
We love you, Julie. We like you a lot, David. Love you, Julie.
Be good. Y'all be good.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
brothers. That was a
Good
good
stuff.
show, man. For
sir.
not planning anything, that's pretty good.
Well, yeah.
Shout out to our brother Matt doing
Yes, sir.
doing this thing down there with Becky.
Yeah, miss you, bro.
Houston Rodeo.
Yeah.
And I got it straight in my head now. Jared Muse, an old high school buddy of mine, was on the basketball team, joined the Marines, was a commander of some sort. He shouted us out on the social media, one of them saying that, he's got my back. So we're reaching people, and people are starting to talk. So, hey, man, Scott, take us out if that's all you got.
All right. Well, you know how we do. This is the Triple Threat Vet Podcast. I'm your man, DJ Royal T. We didn't have our man Matt J with us today, but he's with us in heart and spirit. We know. We have my man Ty Cobb and also my brother from another mother, our hero, in the building tonight. We had some special guests came in. We have my man Dusty Rudd and we have my man David Willis that also came in and joined us today. So thank you for that. And all you guys who are listening and watching near and far, I thank you. We love you. If you know anybody who can benefit from this podcast, make sure that you put the information out. We love to welcome you into the family and have you be a part of the conversation. I tell you, if you made it from last week to this week, hey, congratulations. It wasn't that bad. You're still here. And if you know somebody who's going through something, motivate them, talk to them, let them know it's going to be okay. Like they said in the beginning of the show, life is like a wiener. Sometimes it's going to be hard, right? But just know it won't be hard for long. So just take that method. I know it's kind of a loopy method, but if you take that method and you use it, just understand tough times don't last long, but tough people do. And I know that you're tough enough to make it to next week. So until that time, I'll see you next week. Be there, be square. Make your next day be your best day. We're going to bring my man Al and Ty back in so that they can wax poetic one last time. My man Al Hero, what do you got for the people before we get out here today?
So nothing really major. Just want to tell everybody, out there, hey, we do love you. We love everybody out there. We appreciate all the support. But again, it doesn't take much. Like Dusty just touched on it before he got off. Reach out to somebody, tell somebody you love them, hug somebody's neck, and just spend a little bit of time of your time, right, out of your day, reaching out to a brother or a sister and letting them know that you care about them and you love them and you're there for them. And just like Scott mentioned, right, rise and grind, bro. Get up in the morning, go on a walk, enjoy the day, and just get out there and love somebody.
And you know this, man.
Yeah. My man Ty Cobb, my brother. No, I love you, bro. Not with you. This journey, you're not going to walk alone. I'm going to be there with you, man. So let's get it. I want to see you reach your goal. That's going to make me happy. I want to see you get there. What you got for me?
Absolutely. I mean, this show was probably a little bit of a departure from how we normally do things, but this goes to show you. I'm going to put Scott on the spot here in a second because I want him to tell you why we are called the Triple Threat Vet Podcast, because we can have a show where we're funny. We can have a show where we're insightful. We can have a show where we have a licensed clinical social worker on. And it's not about any of the sum of what we do. We're doing it with a huge network. I mean, we have so many people that have reached out in so many different professions after post-military service that are success stories. And that's the shit I want to see. So thanks for doing this with me, brother. I mean, you're a rock for me. I love your advice. I love your counsel. I love coming alongside.
Yes,
I love that reference. I'm very militant, you know me, and like I told Dusty earlier, I'm not impressed very much. So I'm utterly impressed at what the synergy that we've created together. So love you, brother.
For sure. My man.
And you know this. And you know
Well, it's that time, y'all. You know I can talk all day because that's what I like to do. I know some of y'all might like my voice. You might hate it, whatever. But it's okay. Hey, I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following. Thank you for being a part of the family. I want to see you guys again next week. This is a Triple Threat Vet Podcast. We're triple threat because we have a series of ways that we like to reach people, however it is. If you think about it like basketball, right? We have the ability to pass it on to somebody who may be more insightful, that can give you more information. We have the ability to dribble around it, talk about it ourselves, or we have the ability to shoot our shot on our own. However we do it, but we are a triple threat. That means that we don't have one direct way that we want to get the message to you. We want to utilize everything that we can to ensure that we take care of you guys, veterans, family, spouses, and everything. I do want to tell my wife one thing. I know we had our plan on how the day was going to go, and people think that they can mess it up, but they can't. What we have is stronger than what anybody can ever take away. So I do want to tell all my friends and family, I love you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting the Triple Threat Vet Podcast. And until I see you again next week, much love. May your next day be your best day. Get up, get out, and do something about it. All right? We out of here. Peace.
If you're having a bad day, remember this. Life is like a wiener. Sometimes it gets hard for no reason, but it won't stay hard forever.